Yeah, so I said some of this in the announcement call, but welcome Adam from Vulcan. I personally know about Vulcan from the Proof server, which is the Proof Collective slash Moonbirds, where I saw Vulcan being used, and I think everyone in that community is a fan of. When they first used Vulcan, they were used to Collabland, and I think everyone appreciated the switch. So I know some Nouns community servers still are using Collabland. This is an alternative and has a different feature set. So yeah, Adam, take it away.
Awesome. That's exactly what Sasquatch said. We're kind of a Collabland alternative. I started the project in either November or December of last year. I'm a Xcopy moderator, so I kind of had the view of like the tools we had weren't very good. They didn't really accomplish what we wanted. So from the moderator standpoint, I was able to build what I wanted as a moderator as well as a user. So that's kind of the background of it. We're in Artifact, we're in Xcopy, we're in Proof. That's kind of our main top groups that use us. But the main goal is that to promote user safety, we're not going to send you any links. We're not going to ask you to sign your wallet. So the main flow is that, you'll head to OpenSea, you'll change your bio if you're not already in our system. So by changing your bio, you'll confirm, hey, I own this wallet, because we have to see somehow. And that's kind of the gist of it, is just that you update your bio rather than going to our site. And we also, by not linking to OpenSea, we remove a lot of these attack vectors. I can do a quick demo of it as well. So let's say I'm in the Proof Discord. I'm going to see this quick little menu, start verification. It's going to see if I have any wallets attached to my Discord already, and I have 5. It's going to check all 5 of them and say, hey, do I own any qualifying pieces? I own a Grail. It's going to give me the Grail's role. And let's say I've done this process, but I don't have, it's missing one of my wallets. Then or if it's my first time using it, it would use this verify OpenSea flow where I'd paste my Ethereum address in here. I would then head to OpenSea, change my bio to the specific string, which would be Vulcan dash, and then just a random string. And then once you update it, it's going to check for the asset as well. This is also configurable on the server side, whether or not you want to have other options, say looks rare or Prism if you have a Gnosis safe, so you can enter your Ethereum address and Gnosis safe, and it'll rotate. For Prism specifically, like let's say you have a noun that has multiple signers behind it, Prism will rotate. Every 14 days you can choose who gets Discord access. So that was a big thing for Proof, because there's a lot of shared ownership of Proof collective passes since they're so expensive. So you could have one user at a time, even though 10 people own the Proof pass. One user gets access to the Discord, and then they can vote and rotate who gets Discord access every 14 days. I mean, that's pretty much it from the user side. It's just this pretty little button you got right here. But I try to make it, like I said, as simple as possible. You click the button. You can add multiple wallets, which is great. Because, I mean, like you said, I have 5 here, but some people have more than that. But it's going to check all their assets right there. There's no links to click. Even when you do the verify OpenSea flow or verify Prism or whatever it looks for, we're not going to link you to OpenSea. We're not going to send you any DMs. That's kind of the ethos we try and push. I can show another example. You can say Jake server. We also have some CAPTCHA tools, so I can type in this channel just because I'm a moderator. But let's say I want to solve CAPTCHA. It's just like a lot of these CAPTCHA bots that are out there, but the main goal is that we're not sending any DMs. There's no links. We're not linking to CAPTCHA.bot. We're not going to send you this in a DM. I mean, it's pretty basic. If someone wants to bot your server, a CAPTCHA's not going to solve it. But it's a layer to stop them, and the goal is that there's no DMs, there's no links. There's a lot of fake CAPTCHA bots out there that they'll try and get me to join the server and help them with setup. Like, oh, just solve the CAPTCHA, open a ticket, and it's a fake ticket bot. So just promoting all this with no links is the goal. Cool. I think
Yeah,
that's pretty much it from the user side. And I'm sorry, I have so many Discord.
and I mean, all these decisions are being made with the express purpose of a streamlined experience for people to not get scammed, really, and also it to be convenient to your users. Does that sound right?
Yep. And I also try to make it. I mean, I'll demo the setup for the admin side as well. But just the goal is that as simple as possible for the users, as little attack vectors as possible. I wanted the most noob NFT user to just join here and be like, all right, this is really easy. I'm not gonna get scammed. I don't have to sign anything. Honestly, it should be kind of a big deal to sign something, in my opinion. Like, you shouldn't just be comfortable just signing whenever it pops up. And I'm sure a lot of people in here don't do that, but just for the general user, we kind of promote this idea that, all right, just sign real quick, even if there's no gas sent, like you're fine. But that's not always the case. So just kind of promoting that, like, hey, it's kind of an impactful thing to be signing, and you should really know what you're doing. So just promoting it to not have that at all for this lower layer when you don't need it is important. So that's pretty much it from the user side. It's pretty quick. For the admin side, so this is the admin dashboard. I mean, I just rewrote it all. This is the new one. I haven't launched it yet, but I figure I'd demo this one. But we have various tools that you can use. The main one being the verify tokens, and that's what you just saw. We also have the CAPTCHAs, and we also support posting sales for your NFT. So basically anything you have set up as a role, you can also broadcast as a sale. So here's the admin dashboard of actually setting up your server. You can see, we have these various roles set up. There's a collection name. You can set it up based on contract. You can set it up based on attributes, on OpenSea slugs if you have a shared, OpenSea shared storefront contract that you use. It's all configurable here. Then you basically decide what channel do I want to have that verification menu. So this one would be members verified. And then, if you want to audit. So as of last month, Vulcan is a part of Premint. So we can utilize the Premint database to say, hey, because Premint has, a million wallets attached with Discord accounts. So even if you're a first user, you might not be in our Vulcan system, but you might be in the Premint system. So that's just another way for us to be like, hey, just make it easier for your users. If they're already in one of our systems, they don't have to do anything. But you can also toggle that off if you don't want it as a server. And then this verification options is going to be these buttons at the end. So verify OpenSea, verify Prism. You can toggle, hey, a lot of our users use not so safes. Let's have Prism. We don't like OpenSea. Let's use Looks Rare. We also support TIA or Hikaknukt for any Tezos NFTs. And then you also have your admin channel, which is going to send any alerts if there's a misconfiguration. You can also, we do have a logging feature. It's not on this dashboard yet, but basically if there's an error or whatnot, it will go to your admin channel. And then adding your NFT or adding your roles are pretty simple. You're going to just put in an OpenSea either link or you can do a direct link to an NFT. You can also just do a collection link. And then these are our types that we support. Contract, anything minted on this contract will grant the role. Slug, anything on this OpenSea collection page will grant the role. So that's, I think X copies OpenSea page has multiple contracts attached to it from various drops. So you could just do /X copy and it'll pull all of them. Quantity, so if you want to say, hey, you got to have 5 nouns, 5 moonbirds to get this role, 1 to 5, 5 to 10, regardless. So that would be the quantity one. Attribute, you only want to have moonbirds that have the golden feathers. You do that. And then token is a specific token ID. So if you have, so for Jake the Degen, he's a artist, if you're not familiar, but he has a contract that has multiple pieces on it that are all 1155s, but he wants to grant only Degen token holders. So one of his specific NFTs a role. So, he put token number 5. So only token number 5 on his contract would get this role. Specifically just do attribute just to show. Save, it's going to pull it from OpenSea's API. And then eventually this should be a drop-down, the more that I think about it. So a drop-down, if you put in a specific NFT, it'll give you the attributes that you can just pull from it. But right now you have to type them in. So let's say you want headwear, fire, and then what role should be granted. So it's going to check all of the roles that you have in your Discord. We're going to do birds, save, and there you go. I know I just did this one, so there's 2. And that's pretty much it for the setup. CAPTCHA is pretty similar. You pick your CAPTCHA channel where you want to send that menu, and then you pick what role you want to assign, save, and then resend menu sends that message. I should also note that you can have multiple of these menus in a single Discord. So here they have one that's gated behind. So people that are already members have one menu. They can have more information, and then they also have a channel that's only viewable from someone with no roles. So you can have multiple channels that have this menu if you want to split it up based on owners and non-owners. And then sales bots, like I said, so all of these roles you have set up, if any of these sell on OpenSea or looks rare, depending on how you set it up, it'll automatically broadcast to a Discord webhook. And you can configure, the icon, the webhook color. So for here, anything, so these are all just random stuff I have in here. But specifically, anything on these contracts sell on OpenSea or looks rare, it's going to broadcast. Whereas for Eatlians, if anything sells, but it also has to have, gold skin. And then same with the token IDs, same with the slug. If you have it set up with contract, we can also check looks rare and say, hey, is anything sold on looks rare? And then thought about adding X2Y2, but I just haven't yet. Yeah, I mean, we also have Twitter support to just broadcast to Twitter as well, but it's just not out of the box, like Discord broadcasting is. Yeah, and then you can switch your guild. So this is all, I should say. So this is to get to this page. It's you log in with Discord. It's going to check and see. So it's going to see, hey, what servers are you in that you have manage roles permissions? So that's kind of the check factor. Manage role permissions that also has Vulcan set up in it. You wouldn't see the Vulcan logo. These are all just like my test servers that don't have profiles. If I go to Jack, for example, just got to load, but you go here, you can see all of his various pieces he's configured based on token ID, OpenSea collection, contract, and whatnot. And then let's say you want to set up a new server or you want to migrate from a current setup, whether you're using Collabland or you're like, hey, my server is kind of manually set up. Let's move this to Vulcan. You would go to new. If you want to start from scratch, it's just going to send you a Discord invite. I do like Collabland, but for some reason they request administrator permissions unless they've changed it recently. And they say you don't have to have administrator permissions. And you can change this, bit field up here if you really want to limit it. But that doesn't make any sense to have administrator permissions. I try and push the fact that even if for some reason Vulcan got compromised, the way you have your server set up, we don't ask for administrator permissions. Vulcan should only be where it needs to be in the role hierarchy. And that's kind of something I try and push. So if you go to, let's say I want to add it to Doodle Clone, it might already be in here. But here are the permissions we ask. We're managing roles, we're reading message history. Embed links is just to send the embed menu. And then we can send messages and we can kick members. And the kick members is just for the CAPTCHA feature. So I think you could even toggle that off if you don't plan on using the CAPTCHA. But so these are the only features we ask for. We're not asking for administrator permissions. Go back to here. Let's say you want to migrate your server from a other tool. Start migration. These are the steps we have. So first you want to select your server. For example, let me just pick E3. So now, this is a slightly different list. So this is a list of servers that you have migrate server permission or manage roles permissions in. And if it's grayed out, Vulcan's not in that server already. If it's in color, Vulcan's already in there. So let's say, we go to, I'm just going to go to Vulcan testing. So now you're going to be on this page after you've invited the bot. Slightly different than the verify roles page, but basically you're going to set up all your roles here as you have it set up in your other either Collabland or whatnot. Or if you're just like, hey, my users are manually verified, here's what I want my roles to be like. So we're going to go look. We're like, oh, we already have these Moonbird users. We have these Droid users. Same flow. And then once you finish setting up your roles, you're good to go. We're going to analyze your server. And it's important to note that when you press this isn't going to do anything. It's just we're going to check your server and say, hey, do your users, are they already in our system? We've checked everyone that has the Moonbirds role. There's 3,000 people that have it. 2,800 of them are already in our system. We've checked their wallets. They do have a Moonbird. That role's staying. 200 people either aren't in our system or they are in our system, but not the wallet that has the Moonbird now. So we're going to remove that role from them, and they'll have to re-verify. So Analyze will start that process, and then once that process is complete, you're going to see this screen, so the report screen. That's exactly what I said. So 85% of users will migrate seamlessly, 15% of users will need to re-verify. And then there's a breakdown based on each role. This specifically is I did a test on the Zeneca server. So this was kind of his report. So you see this number of users need to migrate, or they will migrate flawlessly. They will have no impact. These users will have to re-verify to get the roles. And then actually pressing the migrate button will then process these in our system, as well as in your Discord. We'll remove the roles from people that shouldn't have it or that'll need to re-verify, and then these people won't be affected. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the setup, as well as the user side. I mean, I like to think I'm pretty open for feedback in terms of like new features or if there's something that's confusing. I mean, it's hard to say when like you create it, you know, that I like to think it's the simplest way, but it's obviously not. And we have a help docs that need to be renovated for this new dashboard, but I think that's pretty much it. Sasquatch, if you want to open for questions.
Yeah, I mean, thank you, Adam, for the walkthrough. And I think when you have a convenient tool, the walkthrough probably shouldn't take too long, right? So, yeah, at this point, we can open up to questions. Certainly, Adam, off the top, I'd love to ask, how long have you been making this product? And, recently you got picked up by Premint, so maybe you could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I started this in, I want to say, November. Last August is when I started working for Xcopy, and I did his custom bot, and then people liked it. They're, oh, this is a great idea. I don't have to sign anything. It's convenient. And I got a lot of requests to do more custom bots from like mainly artists, like Alpha Centauri Kid. I did Lucrece, Raph Grissetti, and then, I'm maintaining all of these bots, and it's kind of pointless to keep rewriting the code over and over again. So I was like, you know what? I need to make a better solution. I can kind of do something that's pretty atomic. Anyone can set up on their own. I don't need to just keep managing it up. So that kind of spun into Vulcan in about November, and then I've just been building it since then. It's my full-time gig. I mean, I was working on it full-time from, November, December to June or July, and then that's when Premint, we managed to work out a deal with them. I'm still the only one working on it full-time, but now the main reason I went with Premint is because, I hit up Brandon Mulligan, who's the CEO or owner of Premint, whatever, that in charge of Premint. I hit him up back in April. I was like, I really think this would be a good integration. They were checking ownership for entry into Premint based on Discord roles, but they weren't managing them. And I was like, this is perfect. I manage the roles. Let's have it all in one system. Finally got back to me around after Proof decided to use it, and we're like, yo, let's do this. So it's great too, because a lot of it, I was getting revenue for Vulcan from selling premium features, and a lot of these features, CAPTCHA, SalesBot, were premium features. But now that it's owned by Premint and I can make them all free, and I can just worry about making cool products and improving the product rather than trying to find customers, which is really nice. So I think it worked out for everyone. And now that I have, like I said, before this, it was just me, and I had some help from a friend for the old dashboard he helped me build. But now that I have Premint's team, they can help me scale it and make sure it doesn't go down, which it doesn't. But, if 10,000 Discord started using it all of a sudden, I'd need help scaling it. And they've already had to scale Premint to way more than I have to deal with Vulcan. So it all worked out. And it's great. One big thing we're going to work on in the future is giveaways. That's kind of Premint's whole thing, but having it in Discord and kind of going off of the giveaway bot that everyone's familiar with, but kind of backing that with making it NFT tailored and kind of letting the user enter it and then select their minting wallet. And then from the server side, instead of getting 50 winners with just their Discords, we would now get their wallets, and it would all be handled in Discord. It's kind of what this is going to be when it's done. So just kind of an NFT tailored toolbox for Discord is the roadmap. But making it all free as much as we can was a big plus.
Very cool. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, I'd open up the floor to any other questions. If anyone listening has been thinking about stuff.
I just want to say thanks as well. It's been a cool walkthrough. I've used Vulcan as a user a couple times and kind of wondered about it. And like at first I was kind of thrown off by having to change an OpenSea bio, but I like that there's other options there. Like when I used it, I think that was the only option at the time. And the fact there's other options as well is good. And all the other features in your roadmap looks awesome as well. So yeah, well done. Awesome tool.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. So, I mean, just kind of going off that, before the pre-mint acquisition, you would only be able to verify OpenSea. I added Luxor as well, but I don't remember. So you would basically just see these options when you join a Discord. And as much as I want to have, 8 buttons on here, one of the big things that Brendan told me is like just have one button, just from a user standpoint. This is kind of confusing having all these options. So pivoting it to one button also makes sense because I can already check all your wallets in the system, and then let every server kind of display what they want in terms of other sites.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
And I'd love to. I mean, I know. So the Ledger Discord recently switched because they had their NFT drop that they came out with. So they're using Vulcan, and I am talking with them. I'd love to get something. As much as I like OpenSea, as like the reason I went with it as well is because as a user, there's like a 80% chance you're already signed into OpenSea. So you don't have to sign anything. So you could go in, change your bio. Looks rare. I mean, it's a lower number, but if that's what your community uses and that's what you support, like I don't care what site you change your bio on, So adding those options was important, and I do want to add more as well, but probably the next would be Rarible. I know they wanted it added as well. It just hasn't been on my docket, but love to add more sites as well where it's convenient.
Have you got the option of just signing from your wallet directly?
Yeah, well, the issue is, I mean, like I said, I don't want to have. I mean, I'm kind of passing the security off to like OpenSea.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be so easy to just have like a Vulcan site where you sign in, but I kind of don't want to promote that. I mean, I don't know if you've used pre-mint before, but the issue is you have to sign once on a lot of these sites. Even like token proofs, like, oh, you'll never have to sign, but you have to sign once to like confirm your ownership, at least in the current state of everything.
Yeah.
But at least and even every time you change your OpenSea bio, if you're not signed in for a while or it's a new computer, you'll have to sign to get in. Another option too is pre-mint. Like let's say I don't have it really in here, but if you add a new wallet to your pre-mint account from here, you can sign into pre-mint with Discord or Twitter once you have your account set up, which is something that's nice.
Yeah.
I did think about having a like it'd be super cool to do like some sort of on-chain message to just like have the custom string. It just kind of opens a can of worms of like making it more confusing for some users. But I could also see that being like an option for kind of veteran users. If you have a noun, I think if you know how to send an on-chain message, you might like that better than signing anything. So I could see that definitely being like an option.
Yeah, that would be an awesome option to see.
Cool. Well, thank you for the question as well. I know one thing too. I mean, I don't know if nouns would ever switch their Discord to Vulcan, but obviously that'd be awesome. But once we had proof switch, it was kind of fun to see all of these like Moonbird subcommunities kind of like adopted as well, and that kind of was great to see. And I feel like that the same thing would happen if like the nouns Discord ever switched. It would all of these little nouns and other. I would love to have, because I know the nouns metadata is a little weird, and I was talking with Sasquatch about this, that it's not like pulled on OpenSea the same way as a lot of these other projects. But if that was ever like an interest, I'm sure there are, like I could easily add it. So just like for nouns, if they wanted to add a crate-based system that wouldn't work out of the box with this, like I'd love to add it for the nouns Discord
That's
too.
going to raise another question actually, because in NounsDAO there's delegated nouns. So the way that that's like held by different wallets is definitely different to the typical setup. So I think they've hacked together the Collabland bot to handle that in their own way. So there's definitely some extra handling to do compared to, what you would normally expect, I think, just based on that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, not to be critical of like the server, but I wouldn't say it's leading on the frontier of like Discord innovation. It's a builder's den and a community hub, and operated that way. That being said, we're currently using Collabland here. I'm sure if some of the mod team or the Nounder group who are in charge of adminning the server look at this and then see an efficiency, they would consider it.
Cool. I mean, even if they don't, I love the feedback, and I love demoing it as well. It's finally nice too. I've been meaning to have like a great recorded video of like me walking through it, so this is perfect too.
Awesome.
We've actually got a Nounder in the chat. I think, I don't know if you were here for the whole demo though, 9999. I just saw you jump in, but yeah, it was a pretty cool tool if you haven't seen it before. One of the newer ways of verifying into a server.
I have to say that Collabland personally scares the shit out of me these days too. Just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great product, but obviously it has its flaws, and that's kind of like, it's really easy to just build a product and be like, oh, let me fix everything that I don't like with Collabland. But I mean, you have to give respect to it for like being the main option, especially like it was the only thing that existed, like a year and a half ago, really, that people could use. But
yeah, I mean, they handled the peak of NFT mania for a while there. And,
yeah,
while there was a few speed humps or whatever, it did manage to handle a whole lot of servers. And yeah, they definitely opened a doorway. But yeah, I love seeing the innovation in the space. And yeah, I run a few servers and have been testing all these different things. So this is good to see this one because I've only used Vulcan as an end user. I haven't been the admin of it yet. So I'll have a play around.
Yeah, Ben, we
Awesome.
should talk offline. Maybe we can start utilizing
Yeah,
it.
sure.
I just had a question as like a non-technical person as well. Like, is the upcoming merge going to affect any of this stuff, or does that not really pertain to this?
That's a good question. I have to look more into it. I don't think it will, especially if a lot of these sites are kind of just agreeing to use proof of stake. And I know we've seen a lot of these. We've seen like USDC and whatnot kind of say like, hey, we're only gonna approve like proof of stake, like that's all that exists. And I'm assuming OpenSea, I don't know if they've put out a statement yet, but I'm assuming OpenSea, as well as a lot of these marketplaces are gonna just say like, hey, you'll have the proof of work assets still, but we don't really count them, and you're not gonna be able to use it on our site. Is my guess, but it shouldn't affect your rules.
Okay, cool.
But we'll see. I mean, who knows? But that's kind of my interpretation from it, is that like everyone's just kind of agree and kind of build around the proof of stake assets.
Cool. Thanks, man. I gotta jump, but thank you for the presentation and the time.
Yeah, I think Sasquatch, I think that's it.
Yep, let's wrap it. Great demo. Thank you, Adam.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for having me. I know I was in the earlier call too. It's been a long one. But thank you guys.